Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank and I'm with Joe.
Me.
And Jonathan.
What's up, what's up?
That's Jonathan being quiet.
Oh, sorry. Hey, y'all.
There he is.
Gotta scoot in more.
Today we have some nerd news. We also have a review for Umbrella Academy from Jonathan.
Yep.
What are you guys reading right now? You guys reading anything good?
I read the Umbrella Academy Volume 1. It was pretty good, but I'm still reading Saga, and I
need to sit down and finish that.
Oh, yeah. It's getting so good. I'm on like chapter 32, I think, and they do a good job of really keeping you hooked. So I like it. I want to keep going. I want to finish it.
My only thing, the reason I kind of like, because there's like one more coming out. I kind of want to just like pace it out to where I experience that with everybody else.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I probably just need to catch up and finish and be done.
I know. I made the mistake of reading like a whole bunch. I'm reading, I don't know, all of them that you have, and then getting them all myself, and then deciding I'm going to reread it. I didn't realize how much I had read already. Yeah. It was a lot to reread, but now I'm back up and reading fresh new stuff I hadn't read it, so it was really good story. Anyways, yeah.
Are you reading anything?
I don't know how to read.
You don't know how to read? Hooked on phonics.
Hooked on. Best thing about that, I've seen the shirt. I wasn't hooked on phonics classes once.
You're so quiet. You know that, right?
I don't want to talk about this.
Anyways.
It's a little too sensitive.
Just a heads up, by the way, you'll notice that it might be a little echoey or whatever. We're back at the old place because we were over here for Jonathan. We were having like a hangout at John's house. So it's the old recording area. Personally, I'm reading Alita from the movie. I'm reading the manga. My first manga, which means you read it backwards.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
That is like, my brain has a hard time with that shit. I know other people are like, yeah, I read manga all my life. This is my first one, so bear with me.
How is it compared to the movie so far? Does it seem pretty similar?
It actually does. It seems quite a bit similar, and it's funny because when I saw the movies, we did a whole review on this, me and Tweaks, where when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, this is going too fast. It felt like Last Airbender, where they like crammed too much into the movie, and then you read the comic book, you're like, oh no, that's just how fast the comic book was.
Oh, see, I don't like that. I wish the comic. I like when it's slow and elaborates on everything, give you more.
It's very good. I really do suggest you watch. I mean, actually, one of the things, I don't know if it's not in our news, but it is this morning. Alita is like breaking records in China.
Really?
Yeah, it will definitely get a sequel now.
Wow.
There's no doubt Alita's getting a sequel because it's just tearing shit up in China right now.
What's so good about it? Why is it?
It's a really fun story.
Is the manga really popular before the movie came
out? It was,
yeah.
It's from 90 to 95. The anime came out in 93 for, anyways. And then there's even a PlayStation 1 game that came out for it too. Back in PS1 days. But it was really good. That's what I'm doing. I'm catching up on that. And it's really worth a watch. So, all right. So let's get into some news. We have some TV news first. CBS confirms that the Star Trek starring Picard is going to be in 2019. It'll be probably CBS All Access still.
You know what that's going to be like? What kind of series
it sounds like it's going to be him trying to like create peace amongst the Federations, like the other people and stuff like that. And that basically, but it sounds like it's going to mostly be him on his own. But they did get two directors. First one is Hanal Culpepper. She does a lot of Discovery. And the other one, which we've met, Jonathan Frakes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
He's good.
Is Luke Skywalker going to be in this?
Yeah, Luke Skywalker will be there. Chewbacca and Doctor Who, they're all going to be hanging out.
Cool. Yeah. Wanted to make sure.
So much nerd rage at you right now.
Clarify it for our listeners.
Sci-Fi Channel orders a new series based off Dark Horse Comics called Resident Evil. Oh my god. Resident Alien. Anyways, it's a story about an alien that like crashes and tries to assume the identity of a doctor in a small town. I like when they do this. I like when they're basing things off comic books because like nowadays people don't understand how much of the stuff they like is based off comic books. There's a lot of good shit out there.
Like all these really good selling Marvel movies.
Well, I mean, yeah, true. But I'm just saying, like, even TV shows, people will be like, I'm trying to think of an example, and it's really bad because I can't pull one out of my head right now. But people will be watching this TV show that's really popular. Like, yeah, I mean, like Watchmen is a good example. Like the new Watchmen coming up, which is superheroes, is also a bad example. But, it's like, yeah, but that was like a staple of comic books for years. Yeah. And now there's a new show out, and you guys are all excited about it. Oh, is this off that movie? No, it's not off that movie. It's off the comic books. And so it's just one of those things, And then like Walking Dead's a good example. People are like, oh, what's gonna happen on Walking Dead? Like, crack a book, man. You don't know what's gonna. Oh, let me show you what Whisperers are.
And Resident Evil, right? Was the same.
Resident Evil is off a video game.
Oh yeah. That's right.
So and that's doing pretty good too. Speaking of Resident Evil, we'll get to that. That'll be movie news. We'll get to that. Netflix confirms that they are bringing back Castlevania for season 3. Have you guys watched Castlevania yet?
Nah.
I'm surprised Joe hasn't. He's such a Netflix binger.
Certain things.
Certain things? You're not into like because this is basically like anime.
Oh no.
No. It's gotten a lot of. I gotta watch it. It's on my list of things to watch, which is such a long list. I have too much shit to do, but it's based off of Castlevania, the old video game, from back in the day, and it's rave reviews. It's kind of an award winner out there. Also being renewed is Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Nice.
Got for another season on NBC as well. So they were on Fox, which wasn't quite the right home for them. Then they got saved when they got canceled over there to NBC, and NBC went ahead and got them for the season, and then renewed them for the next season already now. So it's doing really well over there. So that's good. It's always nice when like classic sitcoms. I like to see that. Are
hilarious. I hope they don't change it too much. I mean,
they haven't so far. Yeah, so far it's been pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
You know who I want to see more of is I can't remember his name. I know he's Rafi from The League.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. God, yeah, I don't remember his name in that show either.
I can't remember, but yeah, that Pimento. Yeah, that's it. I think it's Pimento.
Yeah.
But man, I just love that actor. He's actually in The Dictator as well. You remember him as like the nerdy friend.
Yeah.
But man, he's super funny on The League.
Yeah.
He needs his own spinoff. My favorite shows of The League are him and Rogan out there doing their own thing. Yeah. It's the best episodes.
I'd imagine him doing a really good Netflix stand-up, comedy, because he's just so hilarious. Just his energy and everything. You want to see that would be good.
Oh, I bet that would be good. Yeah. But it's out there somewhere. He has a podcast that's real famous too.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have to find it. It's him and the guy. God damn, I'm just bad at words today. Anyways, it's really good. I'll find it. We have Game of Thrones is releasing a new poster, or it was released a bunch of new posters. That mirror the first season posters. You remember the first season posters where they had like Jon Snow and Robb Stark sitting on thrones? No,
I don't remember.
So
just them sitting on the throne,
on the Iron Throne, yeah. So it had the famous one I remember the most was Jon Snow sitting on the Iron Throne with Ghost sitting next to him.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was those. They had Daenerys and all those.
Okay, yeah.
Those all came out with season 1. There's the one they used for the cover of the Blu-ray was actually the one with Ned Stark sitting on the Iron Throne.
Okay.
Well, they just released new posters of the updated cast, basically. And Jon Snow, he's like an older man. He's like all rough and like looks like from Vikings and stuff.
Yeah.
They have the Night's King on it and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat to see just like how things have changed, how the characters have changed. Every character in that show now is so much more grizzled and older.
Yeah. So I was seeing maybe you're the one that mentioned it to me too. Theories that the Night King and Jon Snow might be the same person or related.
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
That wasn't me, but there is a very solid chance. And we just spent an hour on Game of Thrones talk, but basically what it comes down to is there's an ancestor of the Starks that he was Lord Commander of the Wall when the first White Walkers were around. There was the White Lady that he ended up having children with. She was the first White Walker. So the White Walkers now are part Stark.
The White Walkers were made by the Children of the Forest, right?
Well, see that that's conflicting stories. So they were on the show, but in the books there was a White Lady that was like this witch that was from the north that the Lord Commander slept with and had children with. And those children became
the White Walkers.
White Walkers.
Oh, okay.
Now, could that just been a legend from Old Nan? Probably. And but a lot of the legends from Old Nan is kind of like a little truth, a little bit of it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So there probably is something there.
Yeah.
The White Walkers probably did breed with the Starks somewhere.
Yeah.
And even there's even like they even stole at one point a Stark stole a wildling and brought back to Winterfell. That and adopted it to be his own kid. Now all the Starks have wildling blood too because that kid's in. So I mean, there's like that's why the Starks are so like kind of magical in the show.
Yeah,
it's because they have something going on.
And I watched a video. They're talking about the prince that was promised could be not that John's going to come and be the new king and save the other kingdoms, but that he's going to be the child that was promised to the White Walkers
That could be the reason they're trying to go south all the time. I mean, we saw from the Battle at Hardhome is that they really are interested in Jon.
Yeah.
It could be the whole thing that they're coming south is to come get Jon.
And there was 2 or 3, maybe it was just 2 instances where he could have killed Jon, but instead he just gives him that glare and lets him escape.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, there's a reason he doesn't want him dead.
Which, for the main for just part of the fact that he's most likely part Stark.
Yeah. Is
that too? Like, okay, we're kindred blood.
Or he's expecting this guy's going to be my replacement. I need to make sure he's groomed until I can plug him in.
Yeah. Because the warging thing, that's wildling stuff. I mean, there's a bunch of wildlings that could be wargs, so that's nothing new.
Yeah.
But I guess that's another thing that the show doesn't. All the Stark kids have a warging ability like Bran does. It's just Bran has the best one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
in the books, but they're not as skilled as him. Of course.
Right.
Not as powerful.
The most prominent ones you know about is in the books wise is of course Bran.
Mm-hmm.
Jon Snow, he always sees ghost stuff happening. Mm-hmm. So like he was able to see kind of what Ghost was seeing when they were looking for the wildlings up north.
Yeah.
Because of that. And the coolest part is Arya's, again, we're going too long on this, but Arya's wolf, remember she had to like have her escape because in the second episode when they did Joffrey,
they were going to kill her, yeah.
While she's across learning about how to be a faceless man, like across the ocean, she's having dreams of hunting with a wolf pack. Yeah. And that's her with Nymeria.
This is a huge, what do you call them? Dire wolf with a whole bunch of small regular wolves following her throughout
There's a super pack, so that's another thing too. Super pack. But anyways, there's a super pack in the north that's in the books that's going around killing Lannisters. Yeah. That they don't talk about in the show. It's like, explain that. That's like, so cool. Oh my god, that's so cool. So anyways, so there's that. All right, let's go. That's the Game of Thrones update segment.
Right? We'll have to do it like when it comes back on. Yeah, each episode.
Well, I think that's what we'll. If you're down, I'm down. We'll do each episode. And I like to do a big beforehand kind of catch up episode. Yeah. That we'll do separate from our normal weekly thing.
That's a good idea. Okay. A review of what's happened.
Because I freaking love that show. Yes. All right, and in depressing freaking TV shows that have been on too long, a third Walking Dead series is in development.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. How are they still making money?
I mean, it did really good to start with, so I get that they have like a good reputation, but they're getting like lost where people are losing interest in it. So maybe that's better than instead of carrying on the old Walking Dead, just shut that one down. Continue Fear the Walking Dead, which seems to be still doing good.
It's really niche, but it is doing well.
Yeah, and then start something different that hopefully would just be a noticeable direction change. Yeah, and see if people like it. If they don't, shut it down right away. But if people like it, then
I would like to see them do like London, like do UK or something like that. Something just really makes it up.
Because this is all over the world. Give us another perspective of or like a third world country.
Oh, it would be awesome. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like in World War Z. Yeah. How you see it from like Israel and like these other countries. That'd be a cool perspective because we just as Americans we're blind to everybody else. So it'd be awesome to see other perspectives.
Our perspective so far has been Atlanta and then Southern California. It would be really cool as if you were like in London and it's happening in America, and then you're like, oh my god, do we have to like shut down the borders? What do we do? Yeah. Like they have like a few months a head start on the situation. Exactly. What are they doing to try to stop it? Then you're like worried about your neighbors. It could be a really cool thing without you wouldn't have to even see a zombie for the first season, and the effect of the zombie apocalypse is like affecting everybody.
And I'm sure there'd be like feuds between the people that are trying. Like, some people are saying, no, we got to stop and close our borders. And some people are like, this is just a hoax, or Americans are stupid. This is their drugs. Like political debates over whether or not we even need to take action to defend ourselves or waste resources on this thing. So it'd be
a whole drama. I think that might be too good for Walking Dead.
Yeah, because people watch that just for the shooter, see zombie heads explode. But
I would also like to just see like I wanted to see Ezekiel's whole story. I like Ezekiel; he's my favorite character, so I wouldn't mind seeing like him from being the zookeeper that kind of like created a kingdom. Like that story would be pretty interesting too.
Yeah, that would be.
All right, on to movie news. Edge of Tomorrow 2 starts development. It's got Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt returning. Did you guys see the first Edge of Tomorrow? It's the one where like they keep dying and repeating.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's really good, I guess. But
sounds pretty dark.
Yeah, you know what? People do die. It's sad, Joe. We'll have to talk later on, I guess.
One they keep repeating? So like Groundhog Day type thing?
Yeah, I think it's like a Groundhog thing. Again, it's unfortunate that none of us have seen this. I'd assumed one of you guys had because it was a big movie when it came out, but I haven't.
Not a big fan of Tom Cruise's.
I really liked it in a freaking movie that nobody knows about, Oblivion. He was so good in Oblivion.
Yeah, I liked it.
I thought that was good. Movie. Oh, and that came out about the same time, but it got... And then the last Mission Impossible Fallout, freaking awesome. And
I like when a movie or a show can create a unique world like Oblivion did. Yeah, it just really makes you think, and I want to see other stuff continue to be. I want to see more out of that world once they develop it so much. It's like that's pretty awesome to see, but I don't want to just like that one movie and it's done. Like you put all this effort into building this whole other perspective.
That would be a good video game world.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. That would be a good like sandbox, Fallout kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah. Like we talked in previous episodes, our podcast, we talked about the Altered Carbon, how the world they made in that show is just so cool because there's so many layers you can peel back. Like, just they do such a good job in one scene. You can see all this other stuff going on. They like want to chase the rabbit down the hole, but you can't because you're just watching the show. But it'd be cool to. I gotta finish that,
but yeah, it was really neat world.
Yeah,
it was cool. Next up, we have a new trailer for Hellboy. This is the red band trailer. That means it's all the Goa. And, man, I'm telling you, I'm getting pumped for this thing. Yeah, so we're all picking comments. We'll talk about that maybe. Well, we can talk about this episode. We're all picking comments to kind of like catch up on. I'm reading Alita right now. I am now going to be reading some of the Hellboy stuff that's leading into this. Yeah. They're pulling a lot, mostly from a comic run called The Wild Hunt. They're also pulling from Darkness Calls and The Storm and the Fury. So read those 3 if you guys want to kind of get into what's going to be happening in Hellboy. Yeah. I suggest you watch this trailer. It is... So generally this Hellboy is going to be leaning in on the King Arthur aspect of Hellboy. So if you don't know... this is crazy, okay? Uh-huh. This is full comic book. And this movie looks like it's going full comic book. Mm-hmm. But Hellboy, he has a mother and a father. And on one side, he's like a demon, right? He's got the demon bloodline. On the other side, he is the last living heir of King Arthur. Yeah. So it's like, why not give that to Hellboy? Whatever.
He doesn't age like normal people, right? He's hundreds of years old.
He ages slower. And there's like this. His teammate in this one is a woman who's half fairy that also ages slower.
Yeah. So that explains why he's the last living heir of the Arthurs too, because
it's not like he's. Well, I'm not saying like
he's
he
the only one
is
that's half demon.
No, I'm saying he's like of the lineage, like his. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, so he's able to wield Excalibur, which gives him magic powers. He's fighting the lady on the water, which is like from that story as well. She's like the main bad guy. She's a switch in England. It all takes place in UK. And I mean, it is. This thing is full comic book. It's freaking nuts. And yeah, there's a point where he's got his full helmet mode we've seen before, where his horns go long. Yeah. He's wielding Excalibur. It's on fire because he's a demon, and he has a crown made of fire that just spawns above him because he's both of these things. I mean, it's like, again, full comic book. Wow. This movie looks awesome. I'm liking it more and more.
When we saw in the previous movies his horns come out and the fire above him and stuff like that was all when he was sacrificing to himself to the devil, right?
Yeah, it's when he was like activating demon mode, basically. Which he gets more powers when he does.
Okay. I thought that was like if he agrees to be in contract or be servant to Satan.
I think in that movie they did that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but normally it's like when he subsides to the demon, because he's constantly trying to suppress that demon side of him.
Yeah.
So it's when he tries to subside that part.
I gotcha.
Yeah, or when he doesn't subside.
So when he embraces the demon side, even if he's not working for the devil, but himself, when he embraces the demon side, that's his.
That's my understanding. Okay. I'm going to be reading these comic runs, and I'll let you know more.
That's a good idea. All right.
How do you become a demon? Did his mom just make it?
Well, again, I'm going off the movies, but it was. This is Hellboy. The Nazis wanted to bring him in to help fight their war. Oh, yeah. And so they had like this like island they went to and did a ritual to spawn him. This like crazy witch. No, not a crazy witch doctor, or not a crazy doctor. It was Rasputin. It was working apparently for Hitler at this time. Mm-hmm. And which is nuts because it's, anyways, history.
It's something like how an orc is born, right?
Yeah, it was some like random, Anyway, so they spawned him. And have you seen the first Hellboy movies? A long time ago, probably.
I think it bored me.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
This one looks like it's much higher octane. It's a soft reboot, but they're just going to continue with the storyline.
And this one will be less family, more action, blood, gore kind of.
This is a lot more action, a lot more.
Was
gore.
the first Hellboy family?
Yeah,
it wasn't bad. We watched it as kids, pretty much.
Yeah, it was pretty soft. I don't remember much. It wasn't gory, at least.
Probably like bored me.
The second one was really out there. Guillermo Bartor. I can't remember the name. Anyways, he did it, and it was like really fanciful or whatever. It didn't hit well with people.
Yeah,
but
it's with those beasts, right? That were those four-legged beasts.
Yeah, exactly. It was just really out there.
Yeah.
Next thing, Rambo 5 gets a release date. Rambo 5 Last Blood, because he ain't got no blood left after this. I mean, he's freaking Rambo.
With
Sylvester Stallone, man.
So he's actually playing?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's going to be like what happens in a senior center on Thursdays?
Rambo invades bingo night.
Right? Extra jello. Come on.
Oh, God.
That's interesting though.
But that's coming September 20th, 2019.
And it's not, or it doesn't sound like it's going to be him passing the torch or nothing like that, right?
He might be. Actually, that would be smart if he did. But it is just another one. I mean, they should do like a Creed with this. They should like have him still part of it, sure.
Yeah.
Like, but he should be the grizzled old man that's on the boat. That's just another Rainbow Man. That's like nuts.
Hopefully, it's good. I mean, they've been good in the past.
They have been. I had seen the last one, which was okay.
Yeah.
He made 4 was pretty recent.
Yeah.
It was just okay. Aquaman 2 gets release date. It's December 16th, 2022.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We're not gonna know who they are by then.
It's so far away. As long as they make it right, I guess. But
well, I mean, I'm sure they're going to be releasing a lot of other hot superhero movies in between now and then.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have the other Suicide Squad. We'll have the. By then we'll probably have the Batman.
2022. The end of 2022.
Yeah, it's the end of it. Yeah,
it's pretty much 3 years from now.
I think their big thing is they nailed this last Aquaman for a lot of people. I think there's some things that change, but it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun movie to watch. I think they're gonna try to catch that lightning in a bottle, so they're really trying to take their time on it.
Yeah,
I think they're hoping Shazam does well too, and I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Now, what is Shazam in the same world?
Yeah, he's DC.
That's weird.
If you watch if you read Justice League or if you watch the Justice League animated stuff,
yeah,
which is it's by the way, guys, if you're not watching DC's animated movies, that's the best of DC. Really? It really is, because it's like this team that does like the old school stuff too.
Yeah,
a lot of times they'll have the same voice actors even. But anyways. Shazam's a big part of the Justice League in those. I just don't. Are you looking forward to to Shazam?
Not at all. I've never heard of him until I saw the trailer or the teaser. Yeah. And then I'm like, this looks like a cute little kids movie, but it doesn't look like any of the action superhero movies that I've seen. Before or even when we were younger. Like it doesn't have the same feel as what we used to like. I like him as a superhero. The idea that it's like Greek mythology and stuff like that, and then Egyptian mythology for Black Adam. I like that. I'm just like, I don't like the actors they got. I don't like any actor I've seen in that movie so far. Yeah. And it's almost like they're just making fun of a comic book movie.
It really feels like that,
It feels like Ryan Reynolds, and he's not playing Deadpool, but that's what it feels like. That
don't
kind of
talk shit about Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I don't like Deadpool.
I know you don't, man.
Mind Ryan Reynolds, but I don't. He's not my favorite. Hopefully, Detective Pikachu will change that around. Oh, yeah. But it feels like that same kind of vibe, but I don't think they're going for that, or they doesn't seem like they should be.
Yeah. Did you? What do you think about Shazam?
Same as Joan. I was like, I don't know who this is, and then the trailer or commercials I've seen for it, it's just been like, it just doesn't.
It's like a joke.
Yeah, it didn't look like anything. I was like, is he supposed to be like a comic hero, right?
It's a comic hero. It's an old school one too.
It just didn't. It like meh.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for kids. Like, just make it a kid movie. Like, isolate it from the rest of the Justice League and stuff like that, and say, if you're a 12-year-old kid and you got a bully at school, but you got this power, then you just say Shazam, and all of a sudden you can beat him up, and like, all right,
which we have to understand, and sometimes it's hard to remember. Is really these are superhero movies, and generally it's for kids. It's for the family.
Not allowed.
But you know what I'm saying? It's a real treat when we get something like Deadpool or something that's a little more mature for us. You know? We just kind of taken advantage of it lately. So this is kind of a return to form. I think Aquaman did the best though, because Aquaman was a fun adventure without being offensive at all. Yeah. And yet I did not feel like I was really watching a kids movie, but Shazam feels like a freaking kids movie.
Yeah.
So.
Hopefully they did good work with that. Maybe DC. That's one thing I didn't really consider is Aquaman was just the first, but maybe DC has realized they need to lean more towards the kids and not aim for the same audience as Marvel.
They're trying to go less dark is the main thing. Wonder Woman was kind of the first one that kind of just brought in more color. Then you had, so they're leaning in that way. They're trying to do that.
That makes sense.
They're recasting Batman. They're possibly going to be recasting Superman.
They're going Nintendo, not Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah. We might get Armie Hammer, too. It looks like Armie Hammer might be our new Batman, which is whatever.
Who's that?
He's just some dude.
Exactly.
Oh.
Well, no, a lot of people know. When I say Armie Hammer, a lot of people know who he is. But to me, he's just like some plain guy. I really don't, whatever. I just want something different.
Who's the last one? Matt Damon's boyfriend. What's his name?
Oh, Ben Affleck.
Affleck, yeah. I didn't. Saw some of the trailers, and I didn't even go watch any of his movies he was in for the Batman, so I didn't care for it.
He wasn't. His fighting was really good in Batman's, but it was just he's just not the same. It's just not Christian Bale. I want more Christian Bale.
Yeah, he played it really well.
Bring back Michael Keaton.
I like those three.
Those are really good.
Keaton, yeah, I'll be fine with Keaton. I didn't like who was the Tim Burton ones?
Michael Keaton.
No, and who was that?
There's George Clooney and there's
Clooney was one.
What was the other one?
I didn't care for Clooney.
From Ghost in the Darkness.
Yeah, he's such a good actor.
No. And it's such a weird name. Anyways, we'll just go to the next thing. Next up, all predictions show that Avengers Endgame will break all the box office records. This is based off of Jeff Bach from Exhibitor Researchers in an interview with Bloomberg. This seems like a no duh.
I was going to say
Val Kilmer, thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I bet you there was a lot of people listening like,
yeah.
How do you not know this guy?
Yeah.
You guys are a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, box office
smashing
Endgame.
It seemed like a top analyst.
But that was the thing. It was just, and it was like an entire article with Bloomberg. So I actually read this article, which was about the interview with Bloomberg about how this is going to break box office records. It's like, first off, it's an Avengers movie, so yeah, it will. And the other one ended on a cliffhanger, so it's even more so. And it's the end of like a 10-year. I mean, like, it's the perfect storm for this thing to be perfect. Why do we have to have a whole? Anyways, it was just funny, but I just thought
studies show 90% of people will die in their lifetime.
What? Only 90?
Yeah.
Who are these 10%? But I'm looking forward to it. I need to. Hardly Heroes is doing their thing again. I might have to get on that. I'll have to see. But yeah, Ray Liotta gets cast for the new Sopranos prequel film. You watch Sopranos? That seems right up your alley, man. You haven't seen Sopranos?
Nah.
I've seen the first season. I gotta watch the rest of it, but it's really good.
Yeah, I heard it was really good. I never watched it, but if Ray Liotta's going to be in a prequel, he's good.
Ray Liotta, I like him a lot. Yeah, he's good in everything he does.
Yeah.
I know this is big news for you, Joe. Oh. Okay. Hotel Transylvania 4 gets that release date of December 22nd, 2021. Oh, he's doing the dance. He's doing the dance,
folks. Shimmy.
I think this is all that Adam Sandler does anymore. Is make Hotel Transylvania's movies.
Yeah.
All right. It's some really good news, actually. We have the new Detective Pikachu trailer that shows off some new Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them that I was able to catch is Mewtwo, Snorlax, Lickitung, Machamp. He's directing traffic. And then there's Growlithe in there as a police dog.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is great. Of course, I'm mostly excited about Mewtwo. Mewtwo's the best.
Mm-hmm. He looked dope.
Yeah. So do you think Mewtwo's going to be the big bad in this?
He was in the original Pokemon, like the very first Pokemon movie, so I think they gotta just, and he's the only one, he's like, what, he's the only one, right? Isn't that how Mewtwo was?
Yeah, he's so is Mew.
Yeah, okay. And he's got like what, like a mind, right?
He's able to actually like talk to people. With psychic abilities.
So I think he's got to be. I mean, the way that in the trailer it looks like it might be like an end scene where he's about to do something to everybody or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think he'd have to, right?
Yeah, there was also Flareon in it, and I was watching a video where someone had a good idea of like the way that Flareon was like transitioning is what was most likely happening it was Mew doing his, I can't remember the name of the spell, but doing his ability to like change into another Pokemon, but it was actually Mew, and they're like trying to clone Mew to make Mewtwo, so Mew might be in this as well, but he was like transitioning into Flareon. So I'm so excited about this movie.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Who are you excited to see? Any Pokemon that you'd like to see? Who's your favorite Pokemon?
Squirtle. Anything Squirtle. I love Squirtle.
Squirtle's in there.
Yeah, there's a Blastoise fighting in an arena or something like that, right?
My favorite, well, what's nice is my all-time favorite Pokemon is Mewtwo. I mean, he's always my jam. Like, I would do anything I can to get to that part of the game first, and then go back and make sure I catch everything using a Mewtwo. Would
you try to catch them all?
I would do that. I thought, what the heck, I'll be a loner in this challenge. I'll be the only guy out there trying to catch them all. Yeah. Maybe I'll make a saying out of it. I don't know. I
wanted to be the very best, The best there ever was.
That's the part I remember. I don't remember the rest of the song. I know.
I was trying to catch them all, to be my real test.
Yeah.
Would have been my real test.
Pokemon? Okay.
I'm excited to see, my favorite Pokemon was Charmander. Always.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it's Charmander. And then my other favorite Pokemon was, which I did see in the trailer, the most recent trailer, so I was excited. Cubo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he looks good too.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking pretty good. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it. And this is still early on, so a lot of the CGI still needs more cleaning up. I mean, they're still going to do more cleaning up. So, I'm glad we're seeing a lot of the original Pokemon. The new ones are like, oh, that's cute. Well,
we're not Pokemon.
Yeah. If I had to complain, it would be like, hopefully make this a lot of movies, a series, but just make the first one with just the original Pokemon. Introduce.
And there are some other Pokemon too that I recognize from the games, but I don't memorize their names. Like the original Pokemon, I knew all the names. Yeah. The later ones, not so much.
Second generation, some of them, and then after that,
exactly.
Yeah, I don't remember nothing.
I mean, the Lugia. Oh man, I love that one too. That was good. Anyways, so all right, we're off to video game news, guys.
All
right, Joe, I know you're excited about this one too.
Oh, hit me.
Fortnite Season 8 starts.
Oh, we do.
Oh, there's that dance again. This is why we're going to be doing videos here pretty soon. Anyway, so the big thing with Season 8, something that I thought was pretty interesting, is they're adding the pinging system from Apex.
We had this conversation last time.
I know we did, because...
Where does the ping come from?
Okay.
Left 4 Dead.
Okay. So...
Apex took it for Left 4 Dead.
They're using the system that Apex uses from Left 4 Dead thing. I love Left 4 Dead. That was such a good game.
How does that work, the pinging system?
So you can I use the mouse, but anyways, basically what you're doing is you see something on the ground, you could ping at it, and the two other people on your team would know oh, okay, there's a helmet there, and you're saying I don't need it when you ping it. Yeah. So one of them would go get it, and then if there's a bad guy, you could ping the bad guy. Yeah. So then everybody knows hey, there's a bad guy in that building over there.
Okay.
It's literally putting a marker.
Yeah, it's putting a marker on it.
You can see through everything.
Yeah. So if we were right here and I just cursored over hallway over there, it'd be hallway over there, and you would just know hallway over here.
So it's a way of communicating fast.
Hot sauce right here.
Yeah.
It would show on your map where it's at.
Yeah. It takes a sec to get used to an Apex, but it's easily one of its biggest advantages. Yeah. It's just fast communication, and they're adding it to Fortnite. Mostly the villain one. I don't know if there's anything else that they're adding, but they are adding that part, which is pretty cool. I kind of feel like Fortnite's slipping a lot right now. They're down something 40-50% of their revenue and stuff like that. They're slipping pretty hard.
So they peaked, but it was a fad like most games, and it's...
Yeah. I mean, there was a time where Minecraft owned the world, and while it's still, it's one of my favorite games, it's top 3 games for me. I understand that it's also, it's had its day in the sun. Yeah. Just like Fortnite will still, it's not like it's going anywhere. Yeah. But yeah, so it's slipping. And this latest Battle Pass is free, which is something crazy. That's where they made a lot of their money. I guarantee you it wasn't free. But the fact that it came after this Apex game, they were like, okay, we need something big now. Yeah. Now. Well, and another sign of the times is a lot of the streamers have switched. A lot of Fortnite streamers are switching over to Apex. Because it's hot. It's the hot game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. If you're a streamer and you're big, you got to follow what's
and whatever's going to follow Apex up, because there's always going to be something.
Yeah, of course.
It will. Another good Battle Royale game you guys got to try out. I talked to Squeaks about this. Is Tetris 99.
I've heard of it, and I don't get it. I think it's hilarious.
Bad at it.
I'm just wow, what?
Is it just Tetris?
It's
literally Tetris.
It's just Tetris.
Oh, I can do that.
But you're playing against, I think you're playing against 100 other people or 99 people. Is 100? Yeah. Well, yeah, you're playing against 99 other people.
How do you play against people in Tetris?
Dude,
That's what I'm saying. It's weird, but...
It's weird. You can Battle Royale. There's these blocks underneath your pieces to make your pieces move up. Yeah. You could do that to other people, and then you could team up and take that guy out. And then you're trying to Tetris your thing down enough, and it's nuts, dude. And it's a lot of fun. I play on the Switch. I am not good at it. But it's a lot of fun. Because I like Tetris, but I'm one of those guys that just I enjoy the calming, just Tetrising myself out a little bit, kind of the mind break. And these guys are hardcore Tetrisers. One of the YouTubers I follow, The Odd One's Out, he does animation stuff, and everybody knows who he is. Who's listening. Anyways, he does Tetris, and I watch some of his Tetris videos, and okay, that's a person who knows how to play this game, because real fast, Wow. I'm not that. I'm just yay, But it's a fun game. You should check it out. It's free, so yeah, all Battle Royale games really at this point. Next up, the Pan-European Game Information, aka PEGI, accidentally linked that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is getting remastered for the PS4. So they done messed up. They're the ones that put the E for everyone rating, but in Europe. Yeah. They messed up and accidentally leaked that Modern Warfare 2 is coming out. And it's coming out for PS4. It's going to be fully remastered. It's
Wasn't there already a Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, it was
remastered, so it's
getting remastered. And it's actually already been remastered once. This is the newest remaster.
Why?
Well, because it's the best Call of Duty game, really. I mean, it's the one that. So you remember when we used to go to?
That's before they went to Black Ops, right?
Yeah, remember when we went to David's house and we played Call of Duty all the time at David's house? It was this one. Yeah. So you recognize the maps, the maps, stuff like that.
But so you have to go buy a whole nother disc just for the better graphics?
It came out with one of the games. I want to say it wasn't Black Ops. It was the one before that. I think I own it too. I can't remember which one it came out with. But they had a remastered version that came out with the game before already.
Yeah.
This one, it looks like it's going to be a fully standalone game. And so far it's just for PS4, which is upsetting because I would possibly get this on Xbox just for some of that, because that was such a good game. It was a good one.
Yeah.
And it's the campaign, too. So, Pokemon announced 2 new games, and they're off. We're gonna do a whole. By the way, guys, I know everybody's like, "Well, talk about the big news for video games." Next week, we're gonna be talking about the whole Xbox coming to Switch thing. It's gonna be a full episode where we discuss that. So, that heads up, Xbox coming to Switch. That's some news. We're gonna talk a lot more about it next week. So I don't want to get too far into that. But Pokemon themselves announced they have 2 new games coming out called Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. They're coming to the Switch. These are this is like when you were a kid and you're like, man, I love these games. They're like the best games in the world. I wish that they were 3D though, so I could like walk through the grass. This is the one. It looks clean as hell. It's a fully remastered game. Like the Pokemon Eevee Go and Pikachu Go were really kind of like they weren't real Pokemon games. These are real Pokemon games. And they're really sharp, and they're not even finished yet. Even like when you're watching the trailer, like this is not finished footage. We're still working on it. But like you're walking through the grass, you could pick a boy or a girl. You've been able to do it for a while now. But when you're walking through the grass, she's even like kind of like sneaking and stuff like that. Like it's real clean. It looks good. The trailers the trainers when they see you and they like dun dun and like surprise and stuff like that. It looks real natural, like they're just hanging out. It doesn't look like they're
just standing there. And you want to run.
Yeah, that was the old one. I was like, okay, we're out in a forest, and there's this woman who's like, looking in this direction, then that direction, then this direction.
Oh yeah,
like,
when they would just.
Yeah. Which was like, okay, this doesn't feel natural. Now they actually show them just kind of like, oh, I'm just chilling out over here. It looks a lot better. So the battles look good.
Is Gary still in this?
Gary, I hate Gary. Yeah, I'm sure he
is.
He's
been my rival for years.
He's beefing still.
Yeah. Have you seen the memes that have gone with them?
I haven't, no.
Well, it's just, so it's Pokemon Shield and Sword. So everything is just, people are just like adding the third Pokemon game. And it's like Pokemon Night. Yeah. Pokemon, just things that go with like a sword and shit. Pokemon, armored vehicle. It's just random things.
I like that. Yeah. I've seen people taking the emblem of the shield and like putting it on their characters that use shields. I've seen that. Like Skyrim and it's that Pokemon shield. I've seen that. That's pretty funny though. Next up we have... Okay, so this is pretty interesting. Halo 343 Industries, the ones that are currently doing Halo, right? It used to be Bungie, but it's not. They had an interview with IGN, and they said that Halo Infinite, which is the next Halo game, we're going to see a lot more footage of it at E3, this upcoming E3. And they're talking about it being a spiritual reboot. What do you think that means, a spiritual reboot to Halo? Do you think that means like storyline-wise or just like gameplay? How would that work? That was what they said to it, and it didn't that was it.
Anybody say anything like that?
Yeah,
spiritual reboot. So I think just like the core values of what they present us with in the game is gonna just completely change.
The little teaser we got from the last E3 was somebody driving around on a Warthog and seeing like a bunch of other people dropping off.
I remember that, and then like Master Chief got out. And okay, I remember seeing that. Yeah.
So I wonder if it's a live server is the key. Which
that would be cool.
Look at Fallout 76. Be careful. You know what I'm saying? They may not be able to handle that, but if they can, I mean, wow.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was just a weird way to say that spiritual reboot.
Because like it's always been a regular shooter like Call of Duty and stuff where so they're trying to change that dynamic, right? That's what they would be rebooting is how you play the game, not just
So if that's the case, maybe live service is the way to go.
Yeah,
I'm anxious to see it, but it was just kind of. It got me more hyped for it. They're so mysterious about this one. They're not giving anybody any information.
It's cool.
Because 5 kind of flopped a lot. So
I love a good surprise.
Yeah.
Was 5 still Master Chief?
It was, okay, so it was really tricky. 5's the one where Cortana freaks out, and Master Chief is like the person you're hunting down. And so you play as Master Chief's group, and then you play as Luke Cage. I can't remember the character. It was the actor from Luke Cage. So you went back and forth between the two characters. Yeah. It really didn't feel all that great. I mean, I still enjoy the game because of the Halo games.
I was thinking maybe they're just going to go back to original roots. I don't know.
They might because it actually looks like it's on a Halo. It's on that environment,
Yeah.
Which, man, I am down. Yeah. Fully reboot it. Although you still got to kind of finish the Cortana story because spoilers, at the end of Halo 5, the whole time you're thinking Master Chief's betraying the Marines and stuff for Cortana, and then you find out like he's saying basically I had to put her to the test to make sure she is fully gone. I'm gonna go hunt her now. Would you join me? So now you're like actually with Master Chief hunting down Cortana to try to like stop her. So it's whatever. But I don't know.
I would like it if they retold the original story. You know, change it or however you want, but reboot it.
I'm still ready to see his face. After all these years.
I know, right? It's gonna be Channing Tatum. I think.
I mean, right now I think it'd be Ryan Reynolds if we're gonna be alive.
Well, yeah. If you're trying to make money, that's how you do it.
It'd be cool if it was just somebody. It was just like Patrick Swayze. Yeah. What?
Oh, man, could you? Somebody who doesn't fit that body type. Yeah. It would just be like
John Candy,
Jim Belushi. What the hell?
Or what's his face? Living in a van down by the river. What's his name?
Oh, Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
Why am
I? Chris Farley. Chris Farley. Yeah. Schnockys. That's okay. By the way, the Master Chief Collection that's on your Xbox right now, that has all the Halos, and you have Halo 5, so you can literally play all the Halos again. But those ones are remastered Halos.
Oh, okay.
So they're like better quality.
Yeah,
there's even a button you can press where you can like automatically switch it back to the old one, and so you can kind of compare them if you want to.
So will this new one have a different campaign too? You think? I mean, sorry.
They're so mysterious about it.
The campaign, will be different, but will the multiplayer be the same kind of thing?
I tell you right now, they would be stupid if they didn't add in a battle royale somewhere because it's just the hot thing. It hopefully will still have normal Halo multiplayer because sometimes you just get that itch.
What if that's what that was?
The Infinite part?
That trailer. What if?
Oh yeah, it could be just talking about the. Actually, yeah, because people were dropping in. That makes sense. That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of one thing that kind of worries me is that it's not saying Halo 7 or something like that, or Halo, I guess 6. It's saying Halo Infinite, so it's definitely reminds me of the BioShock thing.
Yeah, so maybe they're not. Maybe they're going away from having a campaign altogether.
I hope not, because Call of Duty did that, and they almost burnt down Activision over it.
Yeah,
I get people were pissed.
Yeah, the campaign is good, but like Infinite means ongoing. You can
which
keep
is
playing.
The live server thing.
They'll put out patches and updates, and other stuff you can downloadable content. But...
Oh my god! So where do I deposit my life? Because I don't need this anymore. All right, let's get to the next one. Alien Isolation, which is it's the last Aliens game. They're actually making a web series for it. It's going to be on IGN. They're actually doing their own TV series based off this Aliens game. Looks good. Johnny Cage just got announced for Mortal Kombat 11. You guys Mortal Kombat fans?
Not really.
I'll say that for Squeaks.
I think Squeaks is the big.
No one tell. Hey, podcasters, don't tell Squeaks. We're going to surprise them with that news next week.
Nice.
There is a Kingdom Hearts board game coming in 2019. I'm gonna buy it because I got to.
Of course.
The game though is terrible, guys.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
I heard that when it first came out. That release night it came out. I remember just reading. Just people are just like.
Super, yeah.
This isn't a Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah.
Shoots and ladders?
Honestly, you'll play the fighting's fun, but you'll do like 10 minutes of actual level fighting, going around the level and stuff like that. And I'm not lying, 15-minute cutscenes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. There has been times where I'm watching the cutscene and like I'm thinking like I should have started timing this so I could like talk about how long this cutscene is, but it's too late now. And then I'm still watching the cutscene. I'm like I could have started back when I complained, and it still would have been an insane number. It's crazy, and the storyline. If you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you know the storyline's just badonkadonk. It's so nuts.
Yeah,
and that's badonkadonk. Anyway, they're freaking nuts, and in this one they're like trying to wrap them up, so it's even freaking crazier. Because they're like wrapping up, like, oh, remember that Game Boy Advance spin-off game we made? Let's bring those characters in too. And it's like
a whole bunch of loose ends they're trying to tie up at once.
Yeah. Did you know that Riku had a clone? Like, no, you didn't. And then guess what? He did. It's freaking nuts. It's like a soap opera.
Yeah. What I also saw too, just from like videos I seen, it looked like the voice acting was off. It just looked cringy.
Yeah, it is very cringy. The writing is terrible. I think as a kid you forget how bad the writing is because as an adult I'm watching it and it's like. Donald Duck says something like, "Oh yeah, you're super, or you're not that strong, or whatever," and then like Sora, the main character, is like, "Hey, wait a minute!"
Yeah,
and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm not 2 years old anymore. This is hurting me to watch this." So, anyways, board game coming out 2019.
The power of friendship.
No joke, that might be a line. Yeah. All right. And then we have a Call of Duty Black Ops 4. They're redoing their loot box system. So basically, what it is it is a lot of backlash when they changed it. It's changing back. So they're making it to where you can, after you hit max level, which is I think 100 on that, you'll still be able to earn loot boxes without paying for them because Activision needs to chill their role, and that's what they're doing. So it's going back to the old system, guys. No worries if you're still playing that game. and not playing Apex with the rest of the world.
Playing PUBG.
Or PUBG with Joe and his Nihao friends. I made sure to edit that towards clean. I know. That was funny.
I went back when I listened to that. I was like, I can't wait to hear that part and see how it worked out. But that was funny.
I tried to edit because what it was is I stopped it thinking Joe didn't know what he was saying, that he was just mumbling.
Yeah.
And no, that's actually Chinese, and I didn't know Chinese. That was the problem. So we're learning. All right, so Jonathan, you wanted to do the Umbrella Academy review. Fire away, man. I watched this as well. I loved it. Hey guys, just a fair warning. The review we're about to give for Umbrella Academy is full-on spoilers. So we go over every bit of the story. We tell you everything. If you don't want to know about it, don't listen ahead. Just in general, really good, worth the watch. And enjoy the rest of the review.
All right. So I watched The Umbrella Academy, the full Netflix first season, and read the volume 1 of the comic series, which is
Above and Beyond.
Pretty good. Yeah. I like it. So the story overall, I really liked it. Right?
Yeah.
Did you
I liked it. Yeah, I liked. You had the different characters all going through their own stories, so that was pretty interesting, and it kind of was culminating.
Yeah.
I thought the first. So I don't know about you, but the first episode, I knew what the villain and the ending was going to be.
Yeah, it is kind of. There's I don't know. I guess foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's kind of a little easy.
Yeah, it was a simple plot. I mean, yeah, you can tell from the beginning.
Did you compare it to anything else? Where you're like, oh, okay, they're doing this.
I
did. I was like
what? I don't know.
Jean Grey and Phoenix.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Once you get to like the 8th episode,
I was like, oh, they're doing a Jean Grey.
That,
okay.
Yeah, where you see the sister helping.
Oh, by the way, before we get too far, that's a spoiler as it is if you know Jean Grey at all. But
yeah,
we're gonna talk spoilers, so
yeah.
just go for it.
Yeah.
Joe, if you haven't seen this, sorry, buddy.
No plan on seeing it, so I think you guys are good.
Actually, it's really good. You should, but yeah.
So should I just go over the whole story more or less what happened?
Yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, a little bit, right, real quick, yeah.
All right, so pretty much one day, October 1st, 1983. No, 1989.
The director and writer of this movie was born.
So all of a sudden, 43 women just spontaneously were pregnant and had a baby in the same hour or whatever.
Yeah.
They woke up that morning not pregnant.
It was crazy.
The one they show in the show is a girl jumps in the swimming pool after giving this guy a kiss. That's
poor
the
guy. Though. What did I do?
My grandma told me. I thought she was just joking. Don't kiss girls.
Sorry, ladies.
She jumps into the pool and all of a sudden she's pregnant, and not only just pregnant, she's giving birth right now.
Yeah,
so it was just miraculous. 43 women gave birth out of for kids that weren't pregnant with prior. Anyways, so this rich billionaire guy is like, wow, that's amazing, and he's already been, I'm sure, involved in all kinds of science studies or whatever. But he goes around and tries to adopt as many of them as he can. He's got tons of money, so he offers the women, hey, you didn't know you were going to have a kid. You're not ready for a kid. How much money does it take for me to adopt your child? So he is able to get 7 of them. So he must have had some kind of foresight knowing what was coming or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of mystery in that. Did
Yeah.
he set that up somehow? Yeah, something like that.
He knows a lot more than we know he knows.
Even the characters in the show discover he knows a lot more than he's saying.
Yeah.
And we still don't know by the end of the shit series. So.
Yeah. So, but he got these kids, and we find out later that they all have special powers, special abilities. He trains them to be a Justice League kind of group, a superhero group, except for number 7. He calls them all by their numbers. Except for number 7, he always tells her, you don't have powers. I'm sorry, you can't go fight with the other kids, but you're not special. So yeah, they're well-known superhero group in the city and stuff. Yeah. And then they get older and they all separate. They go different ways. Well, he dies, so all the kids come back together to the house. Hey, we got a
funeral.
Deal. Yeah, have a funeral for Dad. Deal with his ashes and stuff like that.
Which, yeah, go ahead, sorry. I love the way they dump their ashes. It's like, croop. Yeah. I guess we should have waited for them to be wind or something like that. It's just ashes on the ground.
It's just a bump of Dad on the ground. Yeah. So they all come together, and then they...
when they come together, though, real quick, Danny, one of the kids, is dead. And Ben is dead.
Ben is dead, yeah.
And number 5 is missing.
Yeah, so number 5, when they were kids, he's able to... Maybe I should go over all their powers.
Real quick, yeah.
Okay,
so because I know the story and everything kind of goes... Yeah. You gotta go. Yeah.
So briefly, there's 7 kids. The oldest one, or not the oldest, all the same age. The first one, the leader of the group, is Luther. Yeah. He's got super strength, and he's the leader of the group. Yeah. Diego, number 2 is Diego.
I like all these characters.
His only real ability is that he can... if you throw something, he can manipulate which direction it goes. So his skill, he throws knives, and he'll turn a corner, turn another corner, and hit somebody right in the neck or whatever. He's really good at throwing knives. But he also developed his own fighting skills, and he's got stealth and agility and all that stuff. So yeah, he's really slick. Allison, she has this ability of
go off of just their TV
persuasion.
Stuff. Make sure you're doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were going to talk about the comic
just
stuff.
at the TV.
The comic book, you told me is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead.
She has the ability to manipulate people, so she'll tell you, I heard a rumor that you shot your partner, and the guy has to turn and shoot his partner. Kind of Kilgrave deal. Yeah. If you know who that is. So she's pretty cool, and she also, just like Diego, has learned how to fight over the years, and she's a famous celebrity because she used her power to get herself to be a celebrity, and she's a good fighter, so she's useful in the family when shit goes down. Klaus, number 4 is Klaus. He can see the dead and interact with the dead to an extent. But he doesn't, in the show, he doesn't really use his powers much until pretty much the end. But
he doesn't understand them. He's been numbing them.
One big thing, is he can't use his powers almost at all when he does drugs, but he's addicted to drugs. He's, a drug addict. So number 5 is probably everyone's favorite because he's just awesome.
A badass.
Yeah. Number 5, I even looked it up to see what's his name as a child or whatever. He doesn't have a name.
Okay, so I have a theory on that. I thought that too. Yeah. They said that the mom gave him names. Maybe he disappeared before the mom gave him all names.
That she would have. Oh yeah, because the mom didn't come in until they were a little bit older too, like 7 or 8 or something like that. Yeah. Well, he was 13 when he went missing, but.
Oh, okay.
But his I know his real name's Aiden Gallagher, but
even the commission calls him number 5.
Yeah. That's so funny. So they never casted him with a name, I guess.
Is he the monkey?
No, he's so sorry. Yeah. Number 5 can teleport between in space and travel through time. He doesn't have a great grasp of the time travel though, because he in this story traveled into the future because he kept telling his dad, "I could time travel. Let me do it. Let me do it." And the dad's like, "No. You don't want to mess with time. You're just gonna hurt yourself, cause problems, get lost, or whatever." And he was right. The kid got really good at space travel, but then as soon as he tried to time travel, he jumped to the future he couldn't come back from. And
is that why he's missing?
Yeah. And in that he saw the apocalypse came, and it was like, he found out it comes on this day. So through a huge series of events with this time traveling commission that tries to keep the timeline the way it should be, he was able to find his way back. But in finding his way back to his time, he had already aged like 50 something years or whatever.
He was an old man. Yeah. It was like, and they would have, so the commission, what their job is, real quick, is to fix the timeline when something goes awry. So when I think it's like multiple timelines, and they're trying to keep them all kind of normal, and like, this guy doesn't decide to kill JFK, so hey, we need to go back and make sure you kill JFK, or it's interesting because they do one example where like, this one butcher needs to die so that his son will take over for the butcher shop, and he's not very good at it, so he'll accidentally poison this one dude who will like go home and do this one thing wrong. Yeah. And so what you need to do, go kill that butcher so that it goes to his son. So that's their job, basically.
They do like calculations to figure out what's the smallest impact you can make that will come out to the right outcome that you need.
They're really cool.
Yeah. So he, using the commission, goes back, is able to join his family again back in time.
But he's old.
But he aged, but then he teleported back, and the way he had to come back, he teleported back into his 13-year-old body. So he's an old man in a kid's body when all his brothers and sisters are 25 or something like that.
It sounds like maybe what I had heard, time travel actually uses up his age.
I don't know.
Yeah, I had heard something like, I think it was an interview with the kid even. He was saying it that way.
Time travel uses his age. So every time he travels, he consumes more of his age.
Like Benjamin Buttons himself.
Oh. Yeah, you know what? That's what I forgot about. Because in the show, he did say he was afraid to time travel too much more because he was afraid that he would end up in a time where he wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
He said that in the show. I forgot about that. So, interesting thing. Time travel makes him younger.
Yeah. Which is very, very neat.
Yeah.
How do you cast that? Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So, that's number 5. Really interesting character. He has a big part in the story. Ben is number 6. Ben has a cool ability because he's able to launch tentacles out of his chest, and it shows him a couple times in the show grabbing bad guys and throwing them against the walls, and he's a lot of strength and everything. He's a pretty cool character. But in the show, he's dead. He died. It shows him as an adult, not a little kid. So we can imagine he must have died, in his early 20s or something like that. But he's dead and actually travels around as like a companion with Klaus because Klaus can see the dead. Yeah. When he's on his drugs, he can't really see much, but he always is able to see Ben. So
Ben's his anchor.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. And those two work good together because Klaus is like the family screw up, and he needs somebody to talk to all the time. So it works out good.
I might be rewatching this show.
It's a good show. Yeah,
I like it a lot.
I kind of skimmed through it again today just so I could take some notes, and I was like, man, I hope they keep going with it.
Yeah.
So number 7, her name is Vanya. She's played by Ellen Page. She's the one that the dad always told her, you don't have any power. So, I'm sorry. You want to go, save the day with the other kids. But, he even tells the press, I only had 6 kids that I got that day with special abilities. And never mentions the 7th.
Whenever they take pictures, she's not in the pictures.
She end up being the strongest.
Jean Grey.
So come to find out.
Joe predicted without even watching it.
Right? So, not to ruin it for everybody, but this is full of spoilers. So she has telekinetic power. So But she has to focus on a single noise to really be able to channel her power or whatever. Mm-hmm. So she works on it by listening to like the river running or the
key is her violin mainly.
But eventually she uses the violin and because she has been practicing it for years. And I think her dad did that intentionally.
Well, okay. Oh man, I'm telling you, there's so many questions the show puts in that I want answers to. The look back at the dad, he came from somewhere where they were launching rockets car or like at the early ages of cars.
Yeah.
He came from like Atlantis or something, right? Mm-hmm. Watch it again and check that out. So he was with a wife that loved the violin.
Yeah.
She dies, so he's leaving that area and comes to America.
That was probably a different time though.
It could have been, but anyway, so he comes to America, he has a violin. So she later on, basically she doesn't know about her powers. Mm-hmm. So I think it's unrelated. But then she asked to borrow the violin for her music lessons.
Yeah.
And she's playing the violin. She tells her mom, the robot, that I want to be the best at this and stuff like that. And you see, finally, it's like the only time you ever see it on the dad, him actually smile about that, like off on his own thing.
Yeah.
And so there was a connection, I think, to his old wife.
Yeah, maybe that's where, he loves the other kids because they're his superheroes and they're going to save the world, but she reminds him of his ex-wife and that passion for music. That's pretty good. I didn't really connect those two. I like that.
Yeah.
So she's cool because she has telekinesis, but she didn't know it growing up. Her whole childhood, she was told she didn't have a power. When she was like 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever, he was trying to. He knew she had this power, and they were trying to control it and fine tune it, practice it, and stuff like that.
It's connected to her emotions too. And she freaks out,
completely tied to her emotions. So she couldn't control it. And he realized there's no way to control this. So he started giving her these. He put her in isolation for like 6 weeks or something like that, and then gave her these pills that she had to take every day. And he always told her these are for your anxiety. This is just help you be calm. And then had the sister Allison, the one that can persuade.
What number is she?
Number 3. So she's the one who's a celebrity now. But all she has to say is, "I heard a rumor," and then whatever she tells you is now concrete in your mind. She'll hypnotize you, whatever, to do whatever. So she told her, "I heard a rumor you were just a normal girl that didn't have any powers." That was so sad to see
when she does it. Like you see her in the room with like the Dr. Pogo, the mom, and then the little girl. You're like, "Oh, I know what they're gonna do," and you're just like, "No, don't do it."
Because for both of them,
they're both
for
like
Allison
6,
too.
so they don't really know what they're doing. Like she's even telling when she's telling her in the future, she's like, "I didn't know what I was doing. They just had me say this thing."
Yeah,
and then she's like, "You're not special," and stuff like that. And you're like, "Oh, you're taking her power."
Yeah. So her rest of her life, she never tries to develop a power because she knows now that she was told that in her brain, it's concreted that I don't have any powers. And her dad always reminds her.
Yeah, I get goosebumps thinking about that episode. It's a good one.
Was that like the last episode?
No,
that was
it's like the 3rd to the last.
Yeah, 7 or 8.
Yeah, 7. So.
But that was a tearjerker. She didn't. Okay, this whole time her powers were suppressed. She's been taking these pills that she thought were helping her anxiety, but really they were,
and mood control. You can tell they're mood controllers. Because it's okay. So the actor playing this is Ellen Page. If you guys are familiar with Ellen Page, she's from Inception and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Juno.
She makes the world. Architect.
Yeah. So she does a really good job of not portraying emotions. You know what I'm saying? She's a real Spock in that sense. But
Star Wars.
My soul, Joe, my soul. So they casted her well for the first half of the show because the idea is that she has no emotions. Really. So the story wise.
Okay, so those are all really good characters.
I'm curious how's it end now.
I'll tell you.
We're going full spoilers in this.
Where were we in the story?
So they have the funeral for the dad.
Oh yeah,
and they end up realizing.
So after the funeral, I think it was after the funeral, 5 appears, and they've been missing him since he was 13. They're probably 10 years or whatever, 12 years. That all the siblings just had to grow up without their brother 5, who was a big part of their team or whatever too. So all of a sudden, there's just a glowing energy. He comes out of some pretty much a portal, and he's back with them.
During the funeral.
Yeah, it's at the very end of the funeral.
Yeah. It's the same day. So he explains this whole time travel where he was in the future and had to work with the commission to come back and all that stuff. And he says there's something so much bigger than you guys going on. The apocalypse is coming, and it's going to be in like 3 days or
8 days.
8 days, yeah. And he's like, I've seen it. The whole world is destroyed, and I need you guys to work with me to try to figure out how to stop it. And there's a lot of drama between the family because they were apart for so long. They all split up for different reasons and stuff. Luther, number one, is the only one who actually stayed with the dad, until he was sent to the moon.
The psyche behind that though is amazing. They do such a good job exploring like how their psyche works in each of these characters.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
So now that Five's back, eventually he gets them all to stick together and, hey, we need to go figure out why, kind of, not really stick together, but they go their own ways to try to figure out why the apocalypse is coming, how to stop it. They figure out who the person is they need to find, and meanwhile, Seven's not really involved. Vanya.
She's never involved. Yeah, Vanya,
yeah. Because everybody else, Allison is closer with her. Number 3, she is the only other sister, so they have a better relationship. But everybody else kind of treats her like crap, and you're the pet of the house, pretty much.
Yeah.
You just sit in the corner. And a lot of their distaste for her is because she wrote a book just not too long before that. Of course, she's the outcast of the family, so she has a sad perspective of their family and everything. So her book was not flattering for any of them.
It was a tell-all book of like all the drama behind it,
Yeah, and it made all them look like crap. So they were all kind of upset about that. So she was an outcast throughout the whole show or season. And she starts dating this guy who, seems like a nice guy. He's actually taking interest in her when she feels like
he gives the creep vibe so fast, man.
Yeah. He's
no time for like, don't trust that motherfucker.
Yeah, well, because you see from the family's perspective too, especially Allison, that she's seeing this guy's got some other motives, like
randomly in her apartment.
Yeah, it's weird. He left her flowers, like, oh, that was cool. But then you realize he didn't just leave her flowers; he was also emptying out her prescription of
mood control
pills.
Mm-hmm.
So we find out this guy, I had his name somewhere. They call him Leonard, but they find out later his name is Harold Jenkins.
Yeah.
That he had a messed up childhood. He was born on the same day as all them and wanted to be one of them.
Well, what's funny is he was born
on
the
missing one.
Well,
no.
Didn't you say there was 8, right?
No,
there's 7 of those kids.
There's 43 people born that day, but there's 7.
The trick is he was born normal. He was not born as a surprise. It was just the day he was born.
Oh, okay.
So he was always like, he has, you know what he is? Syndrome from Incredibles.
Yeah, exactly.
He is so Syndrome from Incredibles. Think of that.
Okay.
So he made his own mask, and he would read all the comics, and
his dad would beat him, so of course that's not great,
Yeah, his dad would always just tell him, go fetch me a beer, stop being a useless piece of crap, and stuff like that.
No, you're not useless if you're fetching beer, I'm just saying.
Right? So eventually he wised up, well, not wised up, but got fed up and killed his dad.
Yeah.
So that was like climactic.
Went to Judy for it.
Yeah.
He tried to join the team, and even because the quote unquote dad of the team is such a jerk, and he was just like, "Oh no, you're not special like these kids. You need to go away." And it was just like shutting him down.
Yeah, and made the whole crowd laugh at him, and he was
really pissed the kid off a bit more. But anyways,
so he's studying all them, and he must have actually found out Seven had a power, and that it was covered up and all that stuff.
He did because I don't want to go too much on the story because we don't want to explain everything.
Oh yeah,
I know. Yeah. But basically, what happened is he found the notebook that 4 had sold in the trash, and it was the notebook of the professor explaining like we gotta hide Vanya's powers.
That's what it was, with all his notes in it.
So he uses that to try to end the world or create a super being.
So is the dad the reason for the apocalypse?
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Because he was supposedly he was trying to prevent it with all this stuff he did, but in the end, it kind of caused it.
Did the dad have any powers?
No. Well, we don't know because he also knew that the apocalypse was coming.
I was going to say, when you said that, I was like, could he time travel too?
So what we find out, one of the big twists is we find out that the dad killed himself to bring everybody together so that they can work on the apocalypse.
Yeah.
So he knew that
the kids
5 would come back?
He must have known something. Yeah, that's the thing. And 5, it's a big mystery. Is 5's like, wait a minute, how did he know about this? Because is he a time traveler? And I'm telling you, there was rockets in the background when he was younger. So there's something going on with him. But yeah, there's that whole... And then, just on the side thing too, is there's this thing called the Commission where he was assassinating people, right? Well, they're like, he wants to prevent the apocalypse. And like, no, that's part of regular history. You can't prevent the apocalypse. So now they're sent 2 people back to like try to kill 5.
Hazel and Cha-Cha
are sent back to assassinate their best assassin.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing about this, their best assassin, again, is this 13-year-old kid with the mind of like a 50-something-year-old who's in love with a mannequin. Because when he's in the apocalypse and he was walking around,
that's all there was?
Yeah. There was just this mannequin, and like, I don't forget it.
Does he say how it ends? How's the apocalypse?
Well, yeah, we find out it was Jean Grey going Phoenix. It was number 7 who concentrated her power, and she ended up losing control of it, and it was freaking crazy. Yeah.
So
is this well, no, I've seen it. Is it a comic book?
It is a comic book. Yeah, it's based off a comic book, Umbrella Academy, which still another the first one, but
is it? Would you say it's like gruesome? Is it like the show gruesome?
No.
So is it kind of like?
It is like, okay, so think of the CW shows, right? So all those CW, the Arrows and Flash, it's like those with better writing and better budget but it feels like that kind of pacing, that kind of fun, but like a better budget and better writing. Yeah. I would say, so if you're going to like Netflix to watch superhero shows and you're watching like Daredevil, it is not like Daredevil. Daredevils are long, extensive arcs. This is a much more fun and fast pace. There are like 2 dance scenes I don't care for because I'm just one of those guys like, why are we dancing? But it's a lot faster paced than that.
So one's a monkey, right?
Yeah.
How he's
he's
they were all born, right? From
but he's not one of the kids. Yeah. So in the house there was, the dad adopted the 7 kids, but he also had Pogo is a monkey. Because he's a scientist too. He's a monkey that he had experimented on and made him smart. So he's like the wise old man in the house. That's the butler. Yeah, he's the Alfred. Yeah. And then I
love him so much.
Yeah, such a good character. And then when the kids were like 6 or 7, he was trying to find a nanny to help take care of the kids and stuff. It wasn't working out with any of the nannies, so he designed this cyborg robot, or whatever, not cyborg, a robot android that is their mom after that. So she like took care of the family as a mom.
I love how like 3's the one that's real close to her, and like that whole thing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's such a good show.
Is that 3? No, Allison's 3. 2.
Oh,
Diego.
2. Diego. Yeah. I'm trying to remember them by their numbers just because it's easier, but it's hard to do that too.
Yeah. So to finish up the story though, what's her name? Vanya, number 7, was dating that guy. He was a creep, trying to bring out her powers, trying to show her that she has powers. Yeah. He's successful. She has powers. She gets mad at the family for covering it up this whole time because her sister is the one that told her to not have her, to hide her powers, that she's normal, convinced her that she's normal. So she kind of emotionally, accidentally slits her sister's throat. She's bleeding out like crazy, and she runs off. The family saves the sister, but she can't speak anymore. And then, after a series of events, she kills her boyfriend that was trying to manipulate her, and she goes to perform at the symphony that she had scheduled already. So, like, busy life, killing people, gotta get back to the symphony.
That was like her goal in life, was to get on the symphony. So it was kind of like, I can do it now no matter what. Like,
she got first chair because the girl that was first chair got killed. Yeah.
Wanted to be in the symphony?
Yeah, because she's a violinist, and because she was just a normal person, so that's what she does is, but so she gets in there, and now she's got her power, and she knows she does. And so focusing on her music is a way for her to channel that energy, that power, now that she's not being subdued anymore with the drugs. So she's building up this energy, and people start freaking out, and then all of a sudden the rest of the family gets there to stop her, and she will just send a shockwave of kinetic energy or whatever, her telekinetic force in different directions, and just throw people across the room. So her siblings are trying to attack her. They all use their powers in different ways in there. It was a really cool scene. There was a whole group of agents in there too. What were they time agents that came in to attack, to try to kill them?
No, we don't know. It's one of the mysteries, man.
That's another one.
So many questions to be answered.
So she's the bad guy?
Yeah. So
she ended up being the bad guy the whole time.
So much power that she doesn't know how to control because she was never taught how to use it, and she's
treated like shit.
Yeah, she resents her family.
And what's cool to it's a prophecy that happens upon itself. I know the word, but I can't. Yeah. Anyways. So they're there to prevent the apocalypse, which they think is her just emitting her power. Mm. But then when they go to redirect her, with the gun and everything like this, she ends up just releasing it in one beam instead. So, hits the moon, and they're like, "Oh, we saved the day."
So to stop her, they're all on the stage trying to attack her. She stops them and holds them all suspended in air, except for her sister. She thought she killed because she slit her throat. Her sister's behind her with a gun pointed to her head, but she just couldn't pull the trigger to kill her. So instead, she puts it next to her ear because focusing on the sound of her music is what gives her power. It helps her channel her power. So she fires the gun next to her ear, completely stops her immediately. She falls to the ground, and all of her energy that she had channeled that was going to destroy the world focused and followed that beam of the bullet. And the bullet, she shot through the glass ceiling or whatever.
Oh, I didn't realize it was following the bullet. Yeah. I just thought she just shot it forward and the moon happened to be there.
No, I mean, imagine the sound that was echoing was in that direction. She'd follow the sound.
Jonathan, nice.
Yeah, because she would,
because she's focusing on the bullet.
Channels the music, the sound.
Shit, that's good.
So that bullet was aimed towards the moon. Her super energy that was going to destroy the city, probably, not the world, could have probably destroyed the city, was channeled directly at the moon, and it fractures the moon. Now, this falling pieces of asteroids of the moon are coming on Earth, and that's what causes the apocalypse.
So then preventing her is what caused the apocalypse.
Yeah. So if
they let her do her thing,
she probably would have destroyed the city, or
I thought number 5 saw how it all comes
Number 5, good.
Number 5 teleported to the future where the apocalypse had already been happened, and seeing all his siblings, they're dead. So he didn't see what actually caused it. He just knew that it was going to happen, and
he would have.
He found out that guy...
He can't go back. He didn't know how to go back. He only knew how to go forward. So
he
was going off of
he just went... He took one...
Yeah, he jumped
He just jumped one time and was like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
The world's dead.
Yeah.
And he didn't know how to go back.
He was able to go back, but he's only able to go back to where the commission sent him. So you had to go to Dallas when JFK's in the car, type of thing like that.
Yeah.
So, but the whole time he's doing that, he's always making calculations of how he can do it on his own so that he can go back to save the day. Like, even the rubble of his house he thought was destroyed in the whole thing, and then he finds out, no, this house was destroyed from something else.
Caused it, I guess. In a way,
Well, honestly, when you're watching this, everybody had a piece in causing this. Yeah. Really. I mean, the sister caused it.
And then the one that couldn't talk was the one that changes their mind?
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody had a piece in this. Dude, this show is crazy good.
Nice.
So, last minute, just to continue the series and everything's really good, they're all on the stage. They're like, dude, the world is literally going to be destroyed in seconds. They see a big third or whatever of the moon coming, crashing into the earth. So they all come together, and Five's like, I don't know what's going to happen, but we got to try. I'm going to see if we can teleport all of us through time into a different time and stop all this from happening. So they all come together, and they huddle, and they try, and eventually, right before the flames cover the earth, are able to teleport out. Yeah. So we don't know where they went. If what time did they just jump to the future after the apocalypse is done and they're gonna figure it out there, or
so he might have
jumped back 50 years?
They're the only people alive.
Yeah,
they're fine with everybody else.
And is he gonna be a baby because he was afraid to travel through time because he's gonna de-age more? So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully he just went forward like a couple weeks because we know that 1 week away is enough for him to be able to walk around. It's that stable enough. Yeah. Because that's when he found the newspaper.
Yeah, and he doesn't go back through time very well, so it'd be better for him to go forward, or even jump all the way forward to when the lady came and offered him the briefcase the first time. Yeah. The commissioner came.
Which would have been funny if, like, before he teleported away, he was like, where we're going, we don't need cars.
Yeah. So, a really good story.
Some floating train comes in. What'd you think of the setting, though?
I liked it. I think a
lot of it takes place in the mansion.
Yeah, which was, not a cheap set. It's not like they did green screen or something. It was nice. I like how they didn't stay in just one place though. A lot of they were all over the place in the city and stuff, moved around a lot. So
yeah,
I like it.
The focal point was the mansion, but they did move around a lot. They kept Pogo in the mansion.
Yeah.
Because I think that lighting suited CGI best because they did a really good job with it. The CGI and the special effects all around was really good.
So Pogo and the mom, they did a really good job with. I don't know if they used any CGI with her.
Yeah, not too much to do with the mom, except for when they cut her arm open. Yeah. Otherwise, it wasn't much.
Yeah.
But the fight scenes and stuff,
Yeah. When they show Ben, his ability and everything, it was really cool.
That's a lot of CGI.
Was each end of the episode like a cliffhanger kind of?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I recommend the watch. Yeah. Music's really good in it.
It all sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Just from what I've seen of it, though, I was just like, man, it doesn't look.
It's long time.
But from going through the story, now I know how it ends. But going through the story, I'm like, it's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah,
sounds pretty cool.
The music's really good too. The first song you hear is Lindsey Stirling's Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah,
notice that?
That was really good.
That's my favorite Lindsey Stirling song too.
Yeah, great way to start it for sure. And then it's kind of a what do you call that? Foreshadowing.
So they're going back and forth between them being old and then back to when they were kids?
Most of them as old.
Yeah. Most of them as old. It really just to explain their abilities, I think, was the main reason why they would show flashbacks.
Or whenever you see how it mentally affected people. Like the fact that Vanya can't trust her sister.
Oh, yeah.
She looks back at how many times the sister was like a bitch,
Yeah.
Because the sisters in number 3 and number 1 are kind of hooking up. Not really hooking up because they're young, but, they're in love. And so in that pursuit of love, she shut out her sister a lot, so that's kind of a thing, And the fact that she didn't have powers.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of twists in the show, but I did like how I mean, I guess there was
the whole the two agents fighting against each other was a twist when it spawned.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
And the fact that the dad killed himself to bring them together.
Vanya in itself is a twist.
Yeah, but I imagine there's going to be a lot more with how secretive the dad was.
We're going to find out so much more about the dad.
Yeah. So that was some
interesting. No,
good twist, but no, like, oh my god, I can't believe that's it was all brought to you softly. Pretty, you kind of expected some of it.
Like how much out of 100 would you? What's the rating on this?
What's your Metacritic?
Right. We used to do this with Level Up. Let's do it again. We used to find how many Umbrella. Because man, the intro. I love how every time they would introduce the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, they did a good job with that.
Why the name Umbrella?
Again, a mystery.
Yeah.
Actually, as far as we can tell, the dad got off the boat and saw an umbrella factory and just came in and bought it.
Yeah.
And that was it. There's so many mysteries that we're excited to hear about.
Yeah.
But so how many umbrellas out of 100?
In the intro of each episode, somehow you would see the umbrella logo or whatever, and usually it was an umbrella opening.
And a lot of it was like back when they were kids, he was clearly merchandising stuff. So a lot of times it'd be like a toy, an old toy that's got the umbrella logo on it. It was like, oh yeah, he merchandised that out. So.
Interesting.
I think I'd give it. So let me bring up one complaint then before I rate it, because overall I liked it. There was almost nothing for me to complain about. The only thing that I didn't like about the show was Ellen Page's acting at the end.
Yeah, because she has to be at that point. She has to be a lot of emotion.
So she was pretty much the same all the way through, but her character went through a huge transformation, but she didn't. The actor didn't. So. Up till then, Seven was just the outcast, didn't have powers. She was just a simple, sad, kind of lonely girl. That's fine. She did a good job playing that. She did a little emotion and stuff. But then all of a sudden, you find out not only do you have power, so you're more important than anybody else, like a lot of people in the world, because you can control telekinetic energy or whatever. So you should be empowered by that. But not only that, but you're the most powerful of your siblings. Like, your father was afraid of your power because you're so powerful. Yeah. And all you got to do is, focus on music or sounds or whatever and try to tame it, and you can probably kill all your siblings. Like, you're probably going to end the world. So she should have all kinds of confidence and be...
She didn't convey that well.
Yeah, portraying that. But she just kind of walked around. It really sadly reminded me of Spider-Man, whichever one it was.
The emo one?
Yeah, where the dude was all emo and just kind of like acting weird. I don't know. So
shit.
Yeah. So I just didn't like her.
I don't want to conform.
I didn't care for the fact that they used Mary J. Blige for one of the two for Hazel and what was the other one?
Cha-Cha. She was
Cha-Cha.
Yeah.
They used Mary J. Blige for that. You know Mary J. Blige, right?
Yeah. Like a gospel R&B.
Right. Why would you pay the money for Mary J. Blige to be an actor? I think they could have saved the money and used it somewhere else.
Use anybody else for that.
So role. It's funny, the two highest paid actors on the show, Mary J. Blige and Ellen Page, would replace.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just because they were a lot of money, but you could have given them no names, and the no names in the show carried it.
Yeah. So Klaus was one of my favorite.
Klaus, number 5, awesome.
5. Yeah.
They were, and Diego was really cool.
Yeah.
And as you realize. When number 3 realizes, what's her name again?
Allison.
When Alice realizes that how bad she has been to her sister, like you see the emotion go well.
Yeah. She does good acting, like emotionally. But yeah, so it's just I like Ellen Page, but towards the end she should have had a lot more power and passion in her character, and she didn't. So that being said, out of 100, I think I'd give it like 88 umbrellas.
I would have to. You know what? I would have to agree with you 100%.
I was trying to go 92. I was like, nah, that's a little too high. With point.
I would almost slip it up to the early 90s, but I would go 88. Yeah. 88's fair.
Yeah,
it was a definite worth watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Also, there was a couple things in the comic book that I would like them to bring, or I think would have been interesting to see in the show. Yeah. There's a ton of differences between the comic book and the show. I think the show I liked it better. A lot of the story was different, but I think that'll change with watching reading all the comic books. I think the show kind of cut up what they wanted out of all of them that are available.
Yeah.
One thing they had in the comics though was a lot more technology stuff. Okay. And one thing that was
how old are the comics?
Oh, I don't know.
Are they newer comics or
not that old?
Oh.
Yeah, I think they're pretty.
Was it like if it was like an old comic from like the early 90s or something?
Yeah.
But one thing they had that was kind of cool that showed more the way the dad tried to structure them as a team and stuff like that was this televator which is a teleporting device, a teleporting elevator. So when they get called out to, hey, there's a bank robbery or whatever, they would all get in this elevator and it would teleport them to the location of it. And it was kind of cool. But then at one point in the comics, I'm pretty sure it showed that it wasn't working. But it's like, that would be another good...
So you wish you saw more of their tech.
Yeah, or more of them when they were fighting too.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know. That'd be.
So would you say
there's not a lot of superhero action in this movie?
So it's not like it's more of a mystery.
Yeah, exactly.
More mystery. It's a whole lot more character development.
I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot less actual superhero fighting, which is very interesting.
And the comic book has a very different ending too. Not very, but it's.
Don't spoil that because I think I'm gonna read that.
Okay, it's similar, but there's significally different too.
Okay.
So it follows the same basic outline, but the way they get there is not the same.
Okay. 88 though, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Worth the watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested now.
Yeah.
Sounded cool.
I hope they continue it.
I'll have to give it a watch. Wonder how it is.
Right. So I think what we'll do in the future, hear me out on this. I think what we'll do for our ratings from here on out, we'll do what we did a Level Up.
Break it down into categories.
Yeah. So like we'll go like, okay, for story, what would you give it out of like 20 or whatever?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go like cast out of 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do that. That way at the end we have that would kind of give us the ability to kind of rate each because I think the cast on this is 20 out of 20.
Yeah.
But I would say like. In the story, I would say like probably 18 out of 20. I'm just going with random numbers here almost.
Yeah,
but music was pretty high, but not, But then I would say like, well, maybe even cast wouldn't be that high.
Yeah, because
you could talk about Mary J. Blige.
Yeah. And like you were saying before, she's a great actress, but that role doesn't need a great actress. It's a side character. It was a good character to have in it.
She did a really good job at it. It's just too expensive for her.
Yeah, you could have got a no-name like her partner who still played a great role.
He's from Mindhunters. He has a small cult following, but he's cheap right now.
From Mindhunters?
Yeah, it's another Netflix show.
I watched a few episodes of that. I can't
remember what the name of his character is. He's the one that wears glasses and he's like kind of a nerdy-looking guy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they could have replaced her, but yeah. No matter. But overall, really good show.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll call it there, and we'll see you guys next week. I know this is a long episode, but we had a lot to talk about, and yeah, y'all take it easy. Bye.
Bye.